along with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. The chairman is Dr. Luther Mack. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Adelaide Bird. From Reno, Nevada, Bert Clements. And from Avon, Connecticut, Glenn Feldman. And our referee in charge of this bout, he is working in this, his 14th world title bout, Vic Draculich. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Bantamweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Caesar's Palace, it is fight time. Introducing to you first, ladies and gentlemen, the challenger on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing red trunks with black trim, representing the outstanding family boxing tradition from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in at the bantamweight limit of 118 pounds even, with a record of 28 wins, 3 losses. He has 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently the USBA champion and the IBF #1 ranked bantamweight contender. Introducing the challenger, Rafael Marquez. And his opponent across the ring is the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, fighting out of and representing his home of Cincinnati, Ohio. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 118 pounds even. His record, 25 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the 10th defense of his title. Here is the undefeated IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World. Please welcome the Cincinnati Kid, introducing Tim Austin.
Thanks, buddy.
Once again, our referee in charge now to give instructions, Vic Draculich, reminding you 12 rounds of boxing scheduled.
You can hold on there for a minute.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the IBF Bantamweight title. You received your instructions in the dressing room. I want to again caution, any punches below this point will be called low. You stand up for a moment. Stand up straight, please. Any punches below this point, you're riding high. Any punches below this point will be called low. All right? With that, are there any questions? Any questions, Chief Seconds? All right, remember, obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch them up, good luck to both of you. Go. Touch them up, touch them up. Go.
Tim Austin promises to follow such bantamweights as Junior Jones and Johnny Tapia, Paulie Ayala into the featherweight divisions. But first, he has a tough hombre in front of him, and as we've already seen tonight, Cincinnati kids don't always beat tough hombres.
Tim Austin. Austin tends to work behind his jab in the first few rounds. Then, once he's got that dialed in, he throws more power punches. But there's a left cross already. And Marquez, wild with the left hook coming back.
Timmy seems to be a little bit more alert and maybe a little bit more aggressive than he normally is in his first round at this fight here.
He certainly does.
Yeah, he seems to be really wired up for this fight.
Looks like a guy who wants to avoid the slow starts that have typified some of his efforts. Not that it's cost him anything. He's still unbeaten.
But also he wants to try.
Left cross. Go ahead.
You know, also he wants to try Marquez, who has been stopped 3 times.
2 of those stoppages several years back. In the third one, Marquez's folks claim that he misjudged the count and failed to rise quickly enough. Bottom line is, when you've been knocked out 3 times, guys are going to come out and check. Both guys with unusually wide stances.
Very wide stances, yes. For little small men, too.
What's the pro and con of that, Emmanuel?
Well, that just is just their style. This is which is a little unusual, especially to get two of them together.
Certainly seems to limit your movement when you're that wide.
Oh yeah, neither one of these guys are that great movers. I think Marquez moves a little bit better. Timmy doesn't waste too much. He's more like a KGO veteran type guy. Marquez is a little bit more fluid with his movement.
We're talking about 130 pounds north of here, but when you took over Lennox Lewis, didn't you narrow his stance from this kind of thing?
Yeah, it was the area where I spent most of my time when Lennox was on balance.
Boxing match in the first round between Austin and Marquez.
It's going to be a very interesting match. You're going to see a little bit of everything. Boxing, punching, some exchanges.
And a very focused Tim Austin drives Marquez into the ropes with a solid left cross across the top. Timmy looking totally in gear and very well warmed up as he fights one of his better first rounds and takes a left hook, stepping in against Marquez.
Both guys are shooting their power punches very freely.
As we go to Marquez's corner between rounds, where his legendary trainer Nacho Beristain will be speaking Spanish. Our interpreter's Ray Torres.
Okay, I told you already, when he throws that left hand, just keep watching for it. You gotta kill it, kill the left hand, control the left hand, and you got the fight.
Start bobbing and weaving and getting down and firing that body, all right? Going to put it out. Gamble down there. Start getting low. Get off that line, all right? He's backing up in a straight line. When you jab, touch that arm here and his shoulder. You got to step with your foot, all right? Don't really relax. Bop, bop. Up jab. Bob and weave. Back him up.
A good look at Caesar's Palace from the skies above Las Vegas. Round one, Marquez tentative threw only 38 punches, landed 5. Austin a little bit more assertive, 7 out of 54. Austin threw 40 jabs and only landed 1 of them as his jab was chronically short. But sometimes at the beginning of a fight, guys aren't really trying to land their jab as much as find the range.
That's what is happening here. Both guys seem to be fighting pretty much the same style of fighting. No one has established a clear advantage at this stage yet.
Nacho Beristain, who's a terrific trainer, who had a great run with Daniel Zaragoza, who's trained all kinds of different fighters, was saying to Marquez between rounds, control the left hand and you'll win the fight. How do you control the left hand?
I think Timmy Austin's best punch is the straight left hand, and that's the punch that I think Marquez is the most vulnerable to also. So he's telling him the right thing. If he can watch that, he probably won't get caught with a right hook or anything else from Austin, but the straight left through the center is going to be biggest weapon for Austin.
Austin chopping over the top with the left hand there. Marquez has been more defensive early on than we might have expected him to be. But I think some of that is because Austin's attacking.
Yeah, Austin came out right away. Unlike he's been in his past fight where he normally is a slow starter.
Roles reversed here, as in this fight it's Marquez who's getting off to the slower start. There's that left hand by Tim Austin.
I never realized that Austin's left hand, at least the way he's thrown it so far, seems so awkward. I mean, it's almost a push.
His body is a much more rigid body in about everything compared to Marquez, which is a much more fluid fighter.
Marquez got in a quick right hand as they disengaged there. Best punch of the exchange.
Just as Marquez is watching out for Timmy Austin's left hand, I think that Timmy's got to be very careful watching out for Marquez's straight right.
You can almost see them dialing each other in as they get ready to try to land the power punches.
Yeah, both of the guys are trying to probe, and land the power shots. They're not doing too much effective jabbing, hooking, punching to the body. They're just looking to land straight right hand or straight left.
Either way, it's a reach to get the power hand there because of the stances, because of the southpaw against conventional fighter setups.
Yes, the only one that Tim is boxing a little bit more. He's trying to use his right jab a little more. But as they start to get closer to each other, somebody may get that right hand or the straight left through the center.
Well, it's Marquez who seems to be trying to close the distance now. Almost as if he's realized in these first 2 rounds, he won't get it done from range against Timmy Austin.
Absolutely.
A very passive round by Austin.
And World Championship Boxing returns March 8th. Heavyweight super prospect Vladimir Klitschko stepping into the ring with hard-punching South African Corey Sanders. Klitschko coming off dominant victories over Ray Mercer and Jameel McCline. Wants a win over Sanders to continue his seemingly inevitable march toward a heavyweight title fight. Vladimir Klitschko versus Corey Sanders. The fight is in Hanover, Germany. HBO Boxing. For 30 years, building legends 1 round at a time.
Second round was over. Now what you need to do, be careful that he doesn't catch you with a trick with that left hand. Okay? Don't let it get difficult. Don't let him get you.
CompuBox numbers in the action-free second round. Austin 3 out of 33. Marquez 4 out of 34. Wonder when the fight will start. Now Marquez starting to get close enough to make his right hand a factor. I think one thing we've seen in these first 3 rounds, Emmanuel, is a very high level of respect.
Yes, it is. Both of them, and nobody seems to can get their rhythm to go in yet. But I think as the fight goes on and it pretty much determines its own style, it's going to change a lot.
They're both going for every feint. If I were Rafael, I'd try to stop going for all the feints and just go forward. But it's not easy to do against a skillful fighter.
And Tim is a good puncher, too. That's one thing to remember. He's a very good puncher.
Now Marquez starting to step in and attack and try to beat Austin to the punch and get his right hand into the flow. Marquez reaching with his left over the top. Wet spot, bad slip. Kind of a war of nerves in there, really.
It is. You can almost see them thinking. And both guys are very, very tense. Very tense.
Marquez missed with the right hand. Austin missed with the left.
They keep having those exchanges like it. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get hit with a clean shot. And both guys are punching with full power.
Austin lands the left hand.
Yeah, they're getting a lot closer now.
Marquez not quite able to get there with the right. Lands his right.
Yep.
He's got a little abrasion, does Marquez, across the bridge of his nose.
Good shot. And don't forget, both of these guys are big punchers, even though 118-pounders. Both of them are good punchers, and they can turn that fight around with one single punch.
As Marquez almost just did with that right hand.
Yep.
You can see them moving each other with power punches in there. And Marquez is having a big second half of the round. He has shortened the distance. He has become the aggressor. He has, for the moment, taken over the fight from Tim Austin.
Yes, he has. I think that was the first time that somebody's taken a decided edge in the fight.
You're catching him. You're catching him. All right? That's all. Hey, there you go. Hey, Tim. Pop him with your jab, get over. Pop him with your jab, get over. Down and up, get over. Down and under and get over. Pop and over. Huh? Get off the line. All right? Come on now. You start touching him a little bit.
When you throw the right hand, hit him with an uppercut or a left hook. Okay? Yeah. Yes, you need to throw that right hand. And then a right hand, you got to throw a combination. A right and a left hook. There's nothing. You're not scratched. Nothing. Everything is fine.
Well, if you like missed jabs, this is your fight. Through 3 rounds, Tim Austin has thrown 101 jabs and landed 5 of them by CompuBox numbers. Marquez has thrown 66 jabs and landed 6. All in all, 11 out of 167. That's 156 missed jabs. So, Harold, how do you score it through 3?
Okay, Jim. In rounds 1 and 2, very, very slow rounds. Not much to choose between. Timmy Austin, a little bit more busy. I thought he won rounds 1 and 2. But in the 3rd round, Rafael Marquez finally started to move his hands, landed nice right hands. I thought he connected really cleanly on Austin, just as you saw him do there. I thought Marquez won the 3rd round, 2-1, Tim Austin.
And he hurts Austin with the right hand. He has hurt Austin here. Timmy wobbles back into the corner. Marquez attacks. Momentary rest for Austin, and he needed it.
Marquez is so much more fluid. Timmy is so stiff. Very stiff in his legs.
But quick with his hands.
Yeah. Still
able to counter.
Still a good puncher. But I think the fluidity and the speed is for Marquez. That's going to be a big factor as this fight goes on. But Tim is very dangerous because he still is a good puncher, particularly with that straight left.
Well, the suggestion of the last 2 rounds is that Austin's going to have to loosen up and fight, whether he likes it or not.
Yes, it seems like he's still a little stiff. Very, very stiff. He's trying to line everything up for that straight left hand. In the meantime, this boy's moving in with a lot more better reflexes, better balance.
And the one right hand truly stunned Austin as he wobbled back into the corner, but righted himself.
The balance again, you can see he still can punch.
You said throw that a good left hand, Emmanuel, but I just see a push. You see, that's a push. That's not a hard punch. I mean, he is a good puncher.
He is power that left hand. It may look that way, but he punches pretty good. That's what he was known for. Primarily, always a very good puncher, even as an amateur. Sometimes guys just punch and it doesn't look like it, but he's got good power.
But it shows that he's a fighter who's on his heels up to now.
Yes, for a small man in particular. And when he misses punches, as you pointed out, he loses his balance a lot because he fights very much on his heels, especially when he delivers punches.
There's a good left hand by Austin, stemming the tide of Marquez's momentum. And there's another good left hand by Austin. Marquez misses with the right. So Timmy Austin rallying just a little bit here in the closing seconds of round number 4. After a big round for Marquez until the last 20 seconds. Big left hand by Austin.
We got a good fight on our hand here.
Yep.
2 of them.
That fight just grew up in the 4th round.
Cincinnati and Mexico today.
There you go. You're all right. Come on. There you go. Stick them hands up. All you got to do is work, man.
All right.
Hey, Tim, you're getting hit with right hand because you're sitting back and he's countering you. When you throw your left hand, you're too far over on that side. Okay? When you throw your left hand, he got you sitting on that angle where he can drop his right hand on you. Bring your back.
He turns to the side, so when you throw with the right, hit him and come back with the left hook. You won all the round. That was a big. You won the big round, but don't get careless.
No tiene por qué darte. Respiras bien.
There's a left hook that come out, which is Marquez unusual tonight because he can throw mainly straight right hands.
Marquez has the biggest knuckles and strongest hands I've ever seen on a little fighter.
Oh, he's got the hands of a light heavyweight. Unbelievable.
I have him ahead 3 rounds to 1.
Those big hands, a reminder to you, Larry, of Ricardo Mayorga a few weeks ago against Vernon Forrest, right?
Yeah, his hands look like a mountain range.
I've always thought that hands a lot of times indicate punching power too.
Well, you know, look at the hands on George Foreman. Look at the hands on Lennox Lewis.
Yep.
You know,
Sonny
big punchers, big hands. Beginning to reestablish his boxing rhythm and beginning to land his jab rather than just to throw it. If he starts to land his jab consistently, that could change the fight again.
Yes, again, and he's very heavy-handed for a little guy.
Yeah, but
when they get into the exchanges, though, Marquez usually gets it better when they have to shoot 3 or 4 punches together in exchange because he's much faster and much more fluid. As long as they single punching, it's tit for tat. But if they get in exchanges, you know, he usually can get his punches out faster than Timmy.
Marquez landing a left over the top. I don't think I've ever seen such a wide stance on a small man as Timmy Austin sets up here.
It is, and that's why a lot of time he looks like he's off balance all the time too. He gets hit. All he's doing is trying to figure out and anticipate what is going to be the movement of Marquez when he can shoot that power left hand of his. That's what he's trying to study all night long. Not concentrating on body punches or anything, just trying to figure out how he can land that straight left hand.
And at some moments, it's a thinking man's fight, and then Austin does reasonably well. And then at some moments, it becomes a fighting man's fight, and that's when Marquez takes control.
When they have to shoot 3 or 4 punches together, he gets off better than Timmy.
Austin's jabs being blocked by Marquez's glove.
See that right there together. When they get the changes in together, Marquez is a little bit more faster.
Popped him with the right hand inside.
Yeah. As long as they're shooting 1 punch at a time, Timmy does very well.
The punch that has begun to work a little bit for Austin is the right hook. He has been throwing all straight punches, and Marquez has him wired in on those punches. He needs to throw something around.
Mostly tactical round. March 5 at 10 p.m., HBO's acclaimed documentary series Sports of the 20th Century kicks off Legendary Nights, a 12-part documentary series commemorating our most unforgettable nights at the fights. Each Wednesday night for 12 consecutive weeks, we'll premiere a new episode beginning March 5 with the tale of Leonard Hearns.
That fight was the most important fight to Sugar Ray Leonard and to Tommy Hearns, without question.
Was it ever? Legendary Nights, 12 fights, 12 stories, 12 weeks. The stories behind HBO's most memorable fights for 30 years, building legends 1 round at a time.
Combinations, just the punches up and down. He's got no defense for that right hand.
Round 5 was a slow round. Austin threw 50 punches, landed 10. Marquez only threw 22 punches, seemingly taken off balance early in the round when Austin began to land his jab. Aaron Snowell, Tim Austin's trainer, said an interesting thing to me this morning, Emmanuel. He said, African-American fighters beat Hispanic fighters when they impose their better, more fluid rhythm on them. I don't see Tim Austin developing a rhythm in this fight that would substantiate that.
That's true. And there's a lot of times that it happened when you had like Meldrick Taylor fighting Chavez. So a lot of the black fighters were more fluid, but not Timmy Austin here in this case, sure. In fact, the more fluidity belongs to the Mexican fighter here. It's just that Marquez has slowed down a lot.
If Tim is a rhythm fighter, it's a staccato rhythm, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely not a rhythm fighter, especially being a small guy.
I bet you he's not a good dancer.
That was a low blow by Marquez. Vic Draculich says keep it up.
As far as their legs are spread apart, it looks like you could set a tent on them.
Unbelievable, just the distance he has, and when he gets down in that position a lot of time, I think that's why he can't get hit clean, because he bends down to such an angle. But if he does get hit at all, he loses his balance and he's just about to go down.
It also seems to me it would be hard to throw combinations from the wide stance. It limits you to one punch at a time.
It is, and that's why Timmy doesn't throw combinations that effective a lot. Because by the end of them, he's got to stretch off balance.
Good right hand by Austin. As Larry pointed out, the little right hook landed for Austin there. After Marquez, it landed a left hook of his own. So both guys beginning to bury a little.
He's gradually easing his way back into this fight. But just steadily touching this man all the time, just touching him.
Sudden step up in activity for Austin, and he's a little more fluid than he was before. Marquez landed a right hand and danced away.
Good body shots in there, too.
Outstanding. That was great work by Austin.
Very workmanlike job. Oh, my God.
Great trade. Austin to the body. Marquez upstairs.
Yeah, Timmy's added that left shot to the body in addition to his jab. And at this stage, I think the jab has been the big factor in the way the fight is going now. And then he's working everything else off of the jab.
Well, it's been an Austin pattern to build the rhythm in the middle rounds and then come on as the fight goes on, and he's made a palpable step up here in round 6.
Yeah.
But here comes Marquez.
That was once again, Timmy missed his punch and got all off balance because his legs was bad, and as soon as he got off balance, Marquez took advantage of it right away with a combination.
You don't have to back up from him. All right, open your legs up wide and get down in that trench, man. All right, you got to fight him and bang him. All right?
Now you can see why his legs is wide.
All right? You done found him now. You done found your time. All right? Just come on. Stay.
Let's get serious now. If you don't win better than what you did in the last round, you didn't do nothing, they're going to give him the fight. Let's get him. What's the matter? Let's go. You got to throw punches. Come on. You got to throw the right hand with a hook. Come on. That's the way to attack this guy. He's yours if you want it. Yeah. He's doing the fight that is convenient for him so he can win.
Come on, guys. Let's go.
Rafael Marquez, by CompuBox estimate, through the first 6 rounds is only throwing 40 punches per round. The bantamweight average is 62. If you ever wondered whether Tim Austin is really a power puncher, there's your answer. Marquez has shown him a ton of respect tonight. Harold, how do you have it?
Okay, Jim. You know, when Rafael Marquez opens up, he does real well. But the only rounds I saw him really get busy is rounds 3 and 4. Timmy Austin ekes out the first 2. In 3 and 4, Marquez starts to move his hands, come back. But then in rounds 5 and 6, Timmy Austin, once again, the right jabs, the right uppercuts, the straight lefts. 4 rounds to 2, 58-56, Tim Austin.
I have it 3 rounds apiece.
Marquez diving over the top with the right hand. Uppercut by Austin. Drives Marquez back. Body shot helps as well.
Both the guys are power punching.
Austin steadying himself in the last round and this one, and starting to deliver a clinical performance.
Yes, a lot of good body shots, and everything is still working a lot off of with that right jab to set up everything.
Throwing 3 punches to every 1 released by Marquez. Range, it would appear that Tim Austin is going to pick and peck and outscore Marquez easily.
Yeah,
if I'm Marquez, I got to get closer, Emmanuel.
That's right. Marquez has got much better fluid moving, but he's got that punching combination. But shooting one punch at a time, he's going to lose the fight the way he's going. He's got to put them together. Unless he scores a knockout, right now the fight is moving towards Timmy Austin.
So it's going to take some bravery on Marquez's part to turn this back around.
Yes, I think if
here he goes with a right hand
but
shot.
He's got to put them together. Combinations.
Now they're trading. And now Marquez steps into a range where he can do damage. Or be damaged.
That's right, because Timmy's giving him an angle right now, and he's getting away with it. He's not getting hit that much.
Austin beating Marquez to the punches. He came off the ropes, driving him back with another left. Very good round.
Yeah. Marquez
Austin in the seventh.
Marquez is thinking too much now.
Yeah, it won't be long now. It won't be long now.
And Aaron Snowell yelling across the ring at Marquez, it won't be long now.
Well, I wouldn't feel that comfortable. It's still a dangerous fight.
All right, close that gap. A little bit closer. And don't back up. Don't get careless to me. Just keep your hands up, roll under, touch him, stepping in, open them legs up so you can bang with it.
Listen, 5 more rounds and you can be world champion. But you're not doing nothing. Is there something wrong? Come on, if you don't punch, you're not going to have a chance. I don't know what's happening. His punches hurt also. You had him, but you let him go. What is going on? Come on, let's do something. Come on. Yeah. If you let him go, he's going to win the fight.
I love a trainer who sees the fight and doesn't lie to his fighter. Nacho Beristain telling Marquez the absolute truth right there.
Yes, he's got to change the pace. If he continues at this rate, he's systematically losing the fight.
CompuBox numbers in the last round. Austin 22 out of 71. Marquez 6 out of 45. It was an easy round to score. Marquez listening to his trainer and trying to come forward again.
He's got to keep that pace. Because Timmy cannot shoot off flash combinations. Very, very slow in his gear. But right now, oh my God. That's the power punch. That's the power punch. Both guys have been hurt.
Austin better hope that he hurt Marquez as much as he thinks he did. If he didn't, he could be hurting with danger. Gets hit with a right hand. Right hook lands for Austin. Marquez dramatic.
Both guys are tired now.
But this is the kind of fight Rafael Marquez can win.
But Timmy can do it too, I believe, in his case here.
High noon at center ring. Round 8.
It's very interesting to have 2 little guys punching like heavyweights.
Crowd comes to life as Marquez rocks Austin and knocks him through the ropes.
It's going to be very hard for him to get up this round here.
6.
In addition to being hurt, he's very exhausted.
8. 9.
He got up.
He made it up.
But he's got to get over a minute.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go. The fireworks started early this round. It's going to be a long round.
Marquez has him. Marquez has him now. Just as you said, Emmanuel, the acrobatic quality of Marquez, he's gotten into position to throw punches.
As long as he can stay in close like this.
You have to remember that in one fight, that Tim Austin fought with a broken jaw and came back and won.
But
the fight is over.
Stopping this one. Stopping this one and stopping the unbeaten streak of Tim Austin's career.
And 2 Cincinnati kids have gone down tonight. One because he was too young, and maybe the other because he was too old.
And just 3 minutes after Aaron Snowell haughtily yells, "It won't be long now," Rafael Marquez proves him right. A knockout victory for the Mexican star against a brave Tim Austin, who gambled thinking that he had Marquez hurt and gambled too much.
Yes, it was a great round, though. Both guys were seriously hurt.
You know who won the fight? Nacho Berenstain won the fight when he told Rafael Marquez that he was going to have to completely change.
Yes, he was.
He got to his fighter. Let's take a look at the first knockdown as Marquez closed the show, Emmanuel, landing 36 out of 58 power shots.
Punches coming from all kind of angles, and Timmy was just not prepared to deal with it. Timmy has to get set to shoot his punches. You can't shoot them as fluid as this boy that came.
That was the stoppage. We were under the impression that was going to be the first knockdown, but you could see that was the stoppage. Here's the first knockdown.
Straight right hand, full power.
Remember, you're going to see Austin go through the ropes. Not easy for a fighter to get up from that.
No, especially you got to get up within, I think, 10 seconds.
And this was just Marquez unloading the kitchen, basically, pulling out every weapon he had.
He was doing everything right at the stage.
And now another look at the stoppage, and I think Vic Drakulich waited and finally decided that Tim just wasn't throwing back.
No, he wasn't. I don't think he was going to throw back neither.
Official scorecards to that point in the fight. Austin led 67-66, 68-65, and 68-65. So Austin led on all three scorecards. It may have been headed toward a decision victory when Rafael Marquez, under the instructions of his corner, came out and turned it around. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official particulars on this drama.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 20 seconds in round number 8. Our referee in charge, Vic Drakulich, stops the contest. The winner by way of technical knockout. He is the new IBF Bantamweight champion of the world, Rafael Marquez.
Final punch stat numbers. You're going to see some advantages for Tim Austin, but they were much wider than became the case in the last couple of rounds. Austin 103 out of 419, Marquez 98 out of 364. Not a huge difference, but a round or two prior to the conclusion, Austin was building up some big margins there. Ultimately, Marquez landed 38 out of 56 power shots in the last round. That's exactly half the power shots he landed in the fight, as he outlands Marquez in power shots 76-74 based on that giant fight-winning rally. And let's go to Larry Merchant with the winner.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Rafael.
Rafael. Thank you.
First, we have to ask you, how do you feel now to be part of one of the few brother combinations in boxing history to have titles?
Primero te tenemos que preguntar, ¿cómo te sientas hoy en día sabiendo que eres de uno de los campeones de hermanos en la historia?
Bueno, muy contento por agarrar este cinturón. Bueno, y una felicidad, ¿no?
Yeah. I feel very content, very happy for winning this title. I'm very, very happy.
How do you think your father is celebrating now?
¿Cómo tú piensas que tu papá está celebrando hoy en día?
Bueno, tú lo ves, Ina, contento y muy nervioso, ¿no? Que realmente fue una pelea muy dura. Y bueno, gracias a Dios por la preparación. Bueno, salimos adelante, ¿no?
You can see he's very happy. We had a tough fight, but we had good preparation, and that's the way it came out.
Rafael, tell us, before the last round, your trainer told you that you were wasting your time and that you had to go out and attack him. What were your feelings as you heard those words? Did you think he was telling you the absolute truth?
En el penúltimo round, tu entrenador te dijo que estabas perdiendo tiempo, que no estabas haciendo nada. ¿Te estaba diciendo la verdad tu entrenador?
Bueno, sí, bueno, realmente me puso mal 2 veces en el hígado y bueno, por eso me plaqué un poco, ¿no? Pero después venía la respuesta, venía el segundo aire y bueno, gracias a eso salió bien.
The reason I didn't do too much in that 7th because I got hit in the belly a little bit and it kind of hurt. But then after that, I recuperated and then it came on.
Thank you very much. Again, congratulations, Rafael. All right. Let's turn now to Timmy Austin. Timmy, everyone said that he was your toughest opponent yet. He sure turned out to be that.
Yes, it was a great fight. Marquez, he came at his best, and I give all congrats to him.
Were you a little tense early on? Did you want to do so well that you found yourself just trying too hard?
Well, you know, by training and, you know, preparing for the fight, you had to adapt to a style. And I just wanted to adapt to the style that I prepared for.
Yes. You've never experienced anything like this. Do you feel this is your 10th year as a bantamweight, that this is as far as you can go and that you can't fight these big punching guys?
Well, Marquez caught me with a great shot. I was just a punch away. You know, I mean, I could have, you know, did the same thing to him. It wouldn't have been no different if I would have won. It would have been just another, you know, great fight. But I congratulate Marquez for a great fight and for them to be the IBF Bantamweight champion of the world.
Thank you very much, Tim Austin. You've had a lot of good fights. We hope to see you again soon. All right, just as final thought, very few brothers have ever won titles. The Spinks brothers, the Curry brothers, a few others down through the decades. So this is kind of a significant thing to see these two young men, the Marquezes, win titles at bantamweight and featherweight. So often we've seen Timmy Austin as the leopard in the ring, even if he has been a bit of a putty cat outside the ring. But tonight, he ran into another leopard. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Larry. So at the end of